Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome. We're letting people file in at the moment. I see we have 43 participants at the moment and people are just filing in. I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad you all are here and I'm so glad we're having a virtual reaction. We're going to give it a minute or so and then we're going to start the real show, let's call it. So please make yourselves comfortable. Grab something to drink if you need, a coffee, anything like that. But in a minute, we're going to be going for the real thing. We have some really exciting things for you today. A lot of students have worked very hard. We have 72 projects in the virtual showcase later, which is amazing, that we're going to launch. And then we have 5 finalists yet to be announced for you all. Hey, Jed, I see you in the chat. Hello. Hello, reaction. Exactly. We're so glad to be back. We're so glad to be doing this, even if it's virtually. It's always such a really exciting day. And so we hope we can capture some of that magic in this virtual circumstance. Okay, so we're there. We have people coming in. Oh my goodness, we're up to 122 people. That is amazing. I'm so excited. Wow, wow, wow. Thanks, Ben. And so, so now we get started for real. Everybody, hello everyone. I'm so really glad. I can't say enough how glad I am that we have this first virtual reaction showcase. It's been an incredible journey to get this underway, and we've had so much help from so many people, which has been amazing. I would, really like to say thank you to the marketing team, just because they gave us a lot of help with our virtual showcase, which you will see later. I am Matthew Jerebeck. I'm the Associate Manager of Marketing and Communications for the Erie office. And first, I just want to acknowledge that Algonquin College is located on the unceded and unsurrendered territory of the Algonquin people. I have a few housekeeping items. So if Erica, we want to use the Q&A button, please, for any questions that you may have. So if you look at the bottom, there's actually Q&A at the bottom, as well as a chat. So the chat is specifically more for introducing yourselves, for cheering everyone on, for discussing what's going on in the event. And the Q&A button is just to ask some questions if you're not sure about something. We won't be opening the floor to the teams for questions from the audience, but you can ask us questions, the panelist team. So that's the housekeeping. That's about it for that. And we do have an agenda for the day, which I think is up there. We can go right there. So here it is. I'm just going to walk you quickly through it. We have the welcome and opening remarks. We have finalists being announced. Woohoo, that's happening very soon. I'm so excited. I really am so excited to share with you those amazing projects. Then we will have the judges panel. So the judges will have an opportunity to hear presentations, and everyone here will have the opportunity to hear some presentations from all of the finalists. And then there'll be a Q&A specifically from the judges to help them with their deliberation. We have a lovely keynote speaker who I'm really glad to have met through this process, and very excited to what he brings to Algonquin, and can't wait to hear what he shares with you guys. And then we have the award ceremony with special guest, and we have the closing remarks. So, Christina, I think at this point I've spoken enough to launch us off, but I would like you to officially please turn your camera and unmute yourself and join me on screen, because I would love for you to sort of introduce the day in your amazing fashion that you always do with some excitement. So thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. Happy Reaction Day to everyone. It is so amazing that we finally are able to do this. And I do want to give a shout out to our amazing events team at Algonquin College, the Erie marketing team, makerspace and entrepreneurship office. They are absolutely wonderful. They really rock and making reaction possible again. I want to acknowledge as well that we have great attendance. Thank you very much for making a time to come and witness the amazing work that our students do. And so we have members of our Board of Governors. Thank you, governors, for being here. It's amazing to have your support. Of course, members of our executive team, and my boss, Chris, welcome this morning. So exciting to have you as well. And other colleagues and members of the Algonquin College leadership group. So thank you, everybody. I also would like to acknowledge all of our industry partners, all of our students, all of our funding agencies. You're here. I was browsing through the names in the attendance list. Amazing that you're here. Polytechnics Canada, Colleges and Institute Canada. It's wonderful to have you see and to witness that you know how that advocacy efforts that we put so much into actually pay off. So everybody knows that this is one of my favorite days of the year. We were really down that we couldn't have the reaction showcase back in April, but here we are, and faculty and students who actually make this a true reality really asked, yes, let's go for it. So on their behalf and with our deep appreciation for what they do, here we are, and we hope that you do enjoy what you see, and use social media, use the chat, and give us your thoughts and your anything you want to say, and cheer for your students. So today, as you see, the format is a bit different. We are welcoming 5 teams to have the live presentation. So the rest of the 71 teams projects have gone through the first round, just to to simplify the virtual side of things, but we all would have an opportunity at the end to go and visit the work that all those 75 teams of students have done. So please make sure that you do. Decisions to shortlist to these points are very difficult, as you can imagine. Everyone is very deserving of their of mention and recognition. So in my mistake, it was actually 72 projects that were submitted. So these 5 teams are going to have 2 minutes each to present an overview, and then a panel of judges are gonna name the finalist. So I will well, you will see who those teams are. I don't probably need to mention them, but it's a really nice diversity of group in both engineering and the social sciences, which is amazing. So Matthew, I think at this point I need to send it back to you. Is that correct?
Yes, Christina, I'm here. Took a minute to unmute. Sorry. So yes, we have. Thank you. That was wonderful. I very much appreciate you talking us through that and welcoming us all. It's amazing. I'm so overwhelmed with the amount of people who are here and ready to celebrate. And in the chat, it looks so awesome. Everyone's really excited. That's great. Thank you. I'll just mention the team names so that we have a good understanding of the 5 finalists. So we have Cheetah Network's Pulse View. We have Accelerating COVID-19 Knowledge Synthesis with Machine Learning. Ooh, that's a mouthful, but it's very exciting. Engaging Youth, Bringing Wheelchair Basketball to Elementary Schools. We have Performance Characteristics of PEC's Hot Water Systems. And we have Victim Services Providers and Vicarious Resilience. My goodness, these are great titles. So on that note, now that you know who all of the finalists are, we are basically going to move on and we're going to hear from them, exactly, because that honestly is the most important part of Reaction, is hearing the student experience of working on these amazing projects. So basically they're going to have 2 minutes. So the amazing finalists will have a spotlight for 2 minutes to talk about and share their project experience with us. To start, we have Ryan. Ryan, could you please come on the screen and tell us a little bit about the Cheetah Network's Pulse View solution?
Hi, my name is Ryan Ariola, accompanied by my partner Shu Ting, and I'm here to talk a little about the Cheetah Network's Pulse View solution. Now, the Pulse View solution provides real-time IoT network analytics and visibility to the quality of experience throughout the entire network from edge to cloud. It also provides us versatility to embed this on any device, such as a phone, a drone, and even an autonomous vehicle, while supporting multiple connection technologies such as LTE, 5G, and LoRa. And as the world rapidly becomes more and more connected, companies like TELUS and Area XO have publicly endorsed the pulse view solution, and it's recognized as a necessity as the future of network analytics. So there's been tremendous pressure to meet not only the client's needs, but our own personal needs and our expectations. So as eyes are on us by the TELUS CTO, directors at Invest Ottawa, and more across the nation. This made team cohesion imperative to our success, and where we instill a mindset of perseverance, conscientiousness, and determination in ourselves and each other to rapidly meet the needs of our customers. There's been lots of problem solving during our research and implementation of this, such as for the data collection and analysis on my end, the integration of new cutting-edge components to existing software, and an elegant and robust customer UI with human-centered design for Shuting's end. As of now, many of Shuting's developments are running in the field by customers, and my contributions starting from September 2020 are expected to be in the next release. Shuting and I were trusted to research and apply many critical components to the pulse view solution, and we're very grateful to have had the opportunity to contribute to the future of network analytics. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ryan. That was fantastic. A very good recap of what we had. And so it's on to the next team. So Ravi, I'm going to invite you to tell us about engaging youth, bringing wheelchair basketball to elementary students.
Hi, I'm Ravi Rachmala, and I am here to present on behalf of my team, including Ababaya and Jay Wu. Our project, Accelerating COVID-19 Knowledge Synthesis with Machine Learning, was a joint effort between InsightScope, IBM Machine Learning Ottawa Hub, IBM Data Science and Elite Team, CHIO, and Slide. The COVID-19 pandemic was the driving force for this project, as worldwide clinicians, scientists, and researchers were rapidly working to answer the many questions that arose and to ensure public safety during this crisis. Experts across the globe were attempting to answer these questions through a process known as systematic review, in which they would review articles for their merit in answering a study. With thousands of new publications being released regularly, attempting to comprehensively synthesize information from these new articles became a lengthy process and challenge alone. Our goal was born from this and two questions. First, could machine learning achieve a similar performance to humans in identification of eligible publications across a range of systematic reviews? And second, to see if a human-assisted machine learning approach could reduce the amount of work for these systematic reviews. After evaluating 6 machine learning models and testing their performance on 7 systematic reviews completed using crowdsourced teams, we were able to prove that not only can we build an AI model that was able to identify 90% of the eligible publications on over tens of thousands of articles, but can do this in mere minutes, greatly reducing the amount of time and manpower needed for this lengthy process. Consequently, this demonstrates that it's possible for the AI to help ensure evidence-based medicine approaches are possible. Responding to this goal and collaborating during this pandemic did come with its many challenges. For starters, our team had never met in person. As anyone would know, successful collaboration on a project of this magnitude was key. So we applied an agile methodology to our workflow. Through activities like our daily stand-ups and midweek reviews, we were able to communicate as a team, plan out our days, work together to solve any issues, and build a morale that had strengthened our team. We were able to achieve our goal because of this. Thank you for your time.
Wonderful. My apologies, Ravi. It was the wrong name for the team. So now that was the Accelerating COVID-19 Knowledge Synthesis. And again, my apologies, Ravi. But now we are going to hear from Alexei to tell us about engaging youth, bringing wheelchair basketball to elementary schools. Over to you.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Alexei, and our team is from the Human-Centered Design program at Algonquin. And our project involved working with a nonprofit sports organization called Wheelchair Basketball Canada, or WBC. And the client's goals were essentially to raise awareness around wheelchair basketball, increase sport participation, and find ways to generate more revenue. So obviously this is a big problem to solve, and our team decided to take a design-centered approach to solve it. And this means learning as much as we could about the problem faced by WBC through secondary research, but also running various focus groups to learn about people's experiences with the sport. So we interviewed some youth participants, some company executives, and some professional athletes. And one of the athletes actually won 3 gold medals in the Paralympic Games, which is super exciting. And so we analyzed our qualitative data by looking for common themes across different focus groups. And we came up with a case study report that provided the following recommendation for WBC. Host a WBC showcase event at an elementary school with activities for kids to try. So this would allow the kids to learn the rules of wheelchair basketball, try a sport wheelchair while playing a small version of the game, connect with local wheelchair basketball athletes, and get a souvenir ticket to a professional game in the area. And so an event like this can get kids excited about wheelchair basketball, spread awareness of the sport, and hopefully get them to participate in their local communities. Our team really enjoyed working together because we were passionate about the problem we were solving. We worked hard on learning as much as we could about the problem our client faced, and all of us had different academic backgrounds, so we were really able to work off of each other's strengths. And overall, it was just a really fun experience working on this, and I'd like to thank my team for being a part of it. I'd also like to thank Jed Looker, who is our program coordinator, for guiding us through this project. So thanks for listening.
Wonderful, thank you so much. We now have over to Simon, and he's going to tell us about the performance characteristics of PEC's hot water systems.
Hello, my name is Simon Hutt, and I work as a research assistant at Algonquin College. I'm presenting this on behalf of all the people that have contributed to this project. That includes Dr. Ali Awafi as principal investigator, Dr. Maria Perev, Dr. Federico Fernandez as collaborative professors, the Algonquin College team, the UpNor team, and over 20 final year students. So did you know that Canadians use approximately 223 liters of water per person per day? This makes Canada one of the largest per capita water users in the world. Our client is UpNor Limited, and our focus in this project is to illustrate the water usage efficiency and energy efficiency of PEX-based systems as compared to competing piping systems such as copper. UpNor is the world's largest manufacturer of PEX piping, and it is important to confirm that its products are not only cost-effective and easy to install, but that they are a market leader in terms of quality, durability, energy efficiency, and water conservation. The ultimate aim of this project is to help our industry understand the superiority of PEX technology. This project is divided into 3 phases. So phase 1 is the installation of a hot water delivery system, the image in the top left. Phase 2 is the hydronic heating system, which we are in the process of installing. And phase 3 is the preparation, surface engineering, and material optimization, which will begin next year. Teamwork is a key aspect of this project, especially considering the events of this year. Safety procedures now include masks and limits on the number of occupants in the lab. Email and video conferences have been a backbone of working from home. One of our team members is also out of country, which provides additional challenges. But through all this, we have bi-weekly meetings with our industrial partner, and Algonquin College group speaks almost daily. If you have any questions, my email is available on the project page, and thank you very much for your time.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Simon. Now we are over to Amy to tell us about victim services providers and vicarious resilience.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your busy Zoom schedule to be here today. I'm really excited to share with you our research project on victim services and vicarious resilience. I'd like you to take a moment to think of a time when you witnessed a loved one persevering through a difficult time in their life, and remember how you felt in that moment. Did your experience of viewing their resilience change the way that you cope? And did it change the way you perceive stressors in your own life? This exercise resembles the concept of vicarious resilience. When victim service professionals see their clients persevering in the face of traumatic events, the service provider's perception of their own hardship is positively impacted. I'm sure that we're all familiar with self-care tropes such as just go for a walk, use some essential oils, that will really fix everything. And concepts of self-care have been used in previous resilience literature. But placing the responsibility on service providers to care for their own well-being does not consider environmental factors, such as lack of funding. We hope to study environmental factors so positive change can occur for service providers' well-being. Our team's greatest challenge has been maintaining a work-life student balance during the COVID-19 pandemic. When walking away from our desks means stepping into the kitchen for a quick snack, it's challenging to set boundaries and prioritize our own well-being. As a team, we've minimized these impacts by engaging in daily virtual check-ins. Many trauma workers are experiencing these same issues during the stay-at-home orders. For example, Algonquin College services have converted to a fully virtual service delivery. For trauma workers, when working from home means stepping out of the office after listening to an experience of trauma and being met with something like rambunctious children in the next room, it's leaving them no time to debrief, and it's negatively impacting their well-being. These environmental factors must be explored to ensure that resources are available for service workers to prioritize their own well-being, which translates to better service delivery overall. Thanks for listening, and thanks for all the wonderful presentations that have come before us.
Thank you so much, Amy. That was fantastic. I really, really liked all of the presentations today. And they were all excellent in my opinion. But, you know, unfortunately for you guys, my opinion doesn't really matter in this one for this time around, because we have a lovely panel of judges that are going to actually decide the winners of our showcase today. Just a little bit of a reminder to everyone here participating is that we actually have all of the links posted in the chat. So if there was some things that you wanted to know more about the project yourself, they're all in the chat. You can click on them and go see their virtual poster, the full thing and the breakdown. There's multiple images and things like that. So back to our wonderful group. We have an amazing group of professionals here to ask the teams a few questions and then head off to deliberate and select the top 3 projects. So judges, could you please come onto the screen, please? That would be much appreciated. So open up your camera so I can see you all. Thank you very much. And when I say your name and introduce you, could you just give a wave so that people know who you are? I know your name's in the bottom, but it's kind of fun. So we have Sabir Mufti, Outreach Representative at BioTalent Canada. Thank you, Sabir. We have Jim Provost, Lead Data Scientist at Lixar of IT. Hey, Jim, how you doing? We have Steph Reed, Director of Marketing at LSpark. Hey, Steph. We have Mark Shimelda, Senior Policy Advisor, Colleges and Institutes Canada. Hey, Mark, how you doing? I like your background. That's awesome. And all of them are led by Stephen Gagne, who works in our office, the digital content developer and professor at Algonquin College. He will be making sure that the process goes smoothly. Thank you, Stephen. So during the question period, basically there will be 2 minutes for both the question and the answer. And we may have 1 or 2 questions depending on how long it takes. So judges, I can see you all. So if you can please, when I ask you, raise your hand if you have a question prepared, that would be much appreciated. And I would call upon you to unmute yourselves and answer the question. We are going to be starting with the Cheetah Networks Pulse View team. So if Cheetah Networks, if you guys could just show your lovely faces, please, that would be awesome. Thank you. Okay, great. And now I will open it. Does anyone have a question to start off? Jim, I think you have a question there. That'd be awesome.
Hey, Cheetah, really love the work you've done here. I think it's really neat and actually really timely for the stuff that we're seeing in the market right now. My question is around caching and what happens if the network goes down, right? Part of what your solution involves is the idea of, we can tell you what's going on in the network in the wild, but if a network goes down, does the edge connections store the data and send it back to the mothership, part of researching? How does that piece fit into your solution?
Hi, Jim. That's a very good question. I think Shooting might be able to answer that pretty well. She's been working on that side. Shooting?
Don't forget to unmute yourself, Shooting, if you're there.
Hello?
Hi, Shooting, we can hear you. Shooting?
Hi, Shooting. We heard you say hello and then nothing else if you remuted yourself.
While she's preparing that, I can say we are definitely working on that end, and we've heavily worked on caching and making sure that we do store these data analytics for you to look at it not only real time but historically. But as of right now, I don't have the current information. You can definitely ask maybe Shooting about it through email later. Yeah.
Hey, did I miss something? Sorry, I just
It's okay, Shooting. I think Ryan answered the question for you, so we can go to the next question if that's okay.
Okay.
So does someone else want to raise their hand? Do they have a question for Ryan, or for Cheetah Networks team? Mark, thank you. Over to you.
Thanks, guys. It's a great project. It's more of a human or teamwork-centered question. I read from the description that you have kind of come from both not only different backgrounds, but different elements in the project that you're doing. So can you discuss just in a little bit like how that collaboration went from the perspective of that difference, both in approach and then in background that you each have and contribute to the project?
Sure, that's a great question, Mark. So there's a difference in approach for me in shooting, as I was working mostly on the back end and shooting mostly on the front end. And I was very heavily involved with the design specifications and working on the data analytics portion, while shooting was working on the UI and human-centered design. I'm sorry, did that answer your question? Or would you like a little more information on that?
That's great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, well, that was excellent. Thank you very much, judges, for your questions. Thank you, Cheetah Networks team, for your answers. We are going to go to the next team, if that's all right. And the next one is accelerating COVID-19 knowledge synthesis with machine learning. So if the students, if you could show it, thank you. Abba, how you doing? Okay, excellent. So do judges, do any of you have a question you'd like to kick off with? Jim, I see your hand is up over there.
Hey guys, you're going to hate me. I did my postgrad work in natural language processing. So let's talk about the algorithms you used, and as opposed to just saying machine learning. Let's talk to whomever on the bridge can talk, get a little nerdy and talk about the actual process involved in taking this data and evaluating stuff like recall curves and what algorithms you use, please.
Yeah, this is a great question. Thank you. We use the from the back upwards and the TF-IDF is basic, and also we try the word to back and dog to back to consider the context of the articles, and also we use the BERT and fast tags. So yeah, we built the data pipeline to grab the data from the database and pre-processing to clean to give the machine better understanding, and we modeling. And yeah, we represent the document as vector and compare documents by measuring the distance between the vectors. And we made a decision based on the similarity score for each document finally.
Thank you.
Excellent. That was a great question and a great answer. Great answer. So I think we have time for one more short question. If someone has another question for the team, that would be great. Otherwise, let me know. Hands up if you do. Mark, over to you.
Thanks. Unlike Jim, I don't have a background in ML and AI, but I do understand even from the kind of man on the street view that it's supposed to get better over time through iteration and so on. So is that applicable here? Can you explain that? I know you had a limited amount of time to work on the project, but let's say if you were to continue moving forward as the algorithms self-improve and so on, would the accuracy of the results increase even better in the project that you had at hand?
Well, in terms of the data itself right now and the results that we got, we're already meeting with the client needs in terms of how high we're getting it when we're pairing machine with the human aspect of it. But to answer your questions more specifically, technically, yes, it would. But would it increase it more significantly? Not really. With the pairing that we've accepted following through with the client, which is one human with the machine learning, we're already achieving on average roughly about 98%. And so an increase wouldn't really matter as much, but yes, technically it would increase it. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I just thinking about it again in terms of long range, like what you could take away from the project and apply to other client solutions. So yeah, thanks a lot. That did answer it.
Excellent. Thank you so much, guys. So we are on to the next team. So if we are going to be asking now the engaging youth bringing wheelchair basketball to elementary schools. Please, if you could come on the screen. So judges, is there a question for the team? Ah, hi, Steph. Sorry, I didn't see you waving. There's a lot more people
Good.
now.
Hey guys, I love the work that you're doing. Obviously, you know, with everything going on this year, event folks have been challenged with moving things virtual, i.e. today. I'm just wondering if you guys have thought about contingency plans for executing on the events if, you know, the virtual world persists for longer than we anticipate.
Yeah, when we came up with the solution, we kind of assumed that COVID didn't really exist at that time. So it is mostly a plan for maybe in a year or two from now when schools do open up. Schools are still running right now, so it's still possible to have these events. You don't need large groups of students to try a wheelchair and try playing basketball. But we don't have a contingency plan for if things don't open up soon. Yeah.
Fair enough. Awesome. Thank you.
All right, maybe one more question for the group. Mark, over to you.
I also, like Steph, just want to echo it's a really, really unique, amazing project. Thank you. And my question had to do, actually nothing to do with COVID, but so let's say COVID didn't exist and hopefully, you know, we'll all be out of this soon. So just in terms of the Canadian kind of diversity and landscape, since it's a national organization and so they have national needs, what does the landscape look like in, you know, smaller remote centers, you know, not big metropolitan areas where there are schools and maybe the wheelchair basketball, you know, has a presence, have professional teams and so on. Have you given any thought on rolling this out to spread the good word about the project, how the client might do that, you know, in more remote or smaller towns, something like that?
Yeah, this is a difficult thing to roll out in smaller towns. I think the main approach would be to set this up in areas where championships are about to happen. So every year, I believe, a different province hosts a national event for wheelchair basketball. So basically, you would set up these events at certain schools, maybe in that province or in that city, to get excitement up and also increase awareness around wheelchair basketball.
Great, thank you so much. That was the two questions for that team. So we're going to be moving on to the next team. Next team, we have performance characteristics of PEC's hot water systems. Please, if you could come on. Thank you, Simon. Perfect. So does someone have a question, one of the judges? I'm trying to take a look here.
I've got one, Matt.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that.
Simon, on the idea of PEX piping, I've noticed that California, for example, has banned PEX as far as contaminants go. Can you talk a little bit about how it's different in Canada or what the plan might be to overcome that?
That's a good question. So California does have very strict consumer laws on what they allow and what they don't allow in their state. A lot of our consumer protection laws tend to follow California's, but not all of them agree with them. There is a lot of debate whether that is in fact true. And part of our project is the material characteristics of PEX. So starting next year, we will begin to test whether what they have mentioned is accurate or not. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Sorry, guys, that's great. If there's another question, that would be excellent. If there isn't, that's all right too, because Simon, usually that means you did a great job of describing your project and then you have what they need. So I think we'll go to the next team. Awesome. Thanks, Simon. So the next team is victim service providers and vicarious resilience. Judges, is there any questions for them, please? If no one has a question, that's okay. Jim, sorry, you have a question?
Yeah, this stuff is close to heart because my wife has done a lot of psychology research as well, and so I really appreciate the effort and thought that's gone into this work and effort. I want to focus on your methodology and fundamentally the validated scales you're looking at. Like I see stuff like SPOS and ProQOL. When you looked at the various opportunities to choose various scales to help turn your qualitative data into more research-based stuff, can you talk a bit about the pros and cons of the various scales you looked at, or why the ones that were chosen that were? Wow, that's a terrible question. I'm sorry.
No, thank you so much for your question. So I know my other team members might be able to help me with these questions. We did go through a lot of different scales and different measures in order to gather our data for this project. We kind of looked at just what would target victim service providers' needs, their values, kind of what would essentially what they found to be the most useful in terms of how they could practice resilience themselves and how that kind of played into how they dealt with victims. So it's an ongoing process. We are still in the process of developing our survey and the things that we're putting into that. Just yesterday or just this week, we're collaborating with organizations nationally and internationally in order to kind of develop that survey and get better information on what they find useful for the survey. So we are still in the early stages of that, but yeah, does that answer your question?
It does, thank you.
Is there another judge? Mark, I know you had your hand up previously. Would you like to ask your question?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, team, for a really great presentation. So my question is more about the scope of the work, and I know you haven't yet finished the questionnaires, and some of the research is still ongoing. So, how much of it is a question in response to the way that COVID has changed the environment, and certainly, we've heard anecdotally how maybe vulnerable groups are not reaching out for help as much because of COVID. They're in lockdown, they're in their homes. So how much overlap is there between, the actual impact of COVID on victims themselves and vulnerable populations themselves versus the resiliency you're studying in the survey on the provider's perspective?
Hi, Mark. Thank you so much for that question. What we are focusing on right now is how the environment affects both resilience workers service workers along with the victims. We've noticed through literature reviews that there has been an increase in victims reaching out for victim services. So we've been looking at how working remote has affected the environment for both clients and for the workers themselves. So with that, we will be continuing to look at that as it progresses over the next year or two. With that, we have already noticed that there are some significant differences, such as barriers to resources, especially for rural communities with not having proper internet access and whatnot. So we will be continuing to monitor that for both service workers and for victims themselves. Does that answer your question?
That's an excellent answer. Thanks so much.
No worries.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much, teams. I know that this is part of the process. Doing the work is hard enough in and of itself, but talking about the work and being put on the spot to explain what it is that you're doing and what the importance of it is such a good skill to learn. And taking part in things like this really helps you. I know that's always a difficult spot for me, because you get so deep into it that it's harder to choose what you want to talk about. So the judges have some incredible work ahead of them. I think they're going to go off and deliberate now and figure out who of the top 5 are going to be the 3 winners of the showcase. I'm very, very excited to see what their solution is. But at this moment, we also have a wonderful guest who is our keynote presenter. Michael Graham is the founder and CEO of Space Simulation Services Canada. His expertise lies in space simulation, embedded technology, enterprise solutions, as in business development. He specializes in integration, systems development, design and development of real-time embedded systems. He is applying his decade of testing technology and methodologies gained from the Canadian Space Agency and the SSSOC to advance client productivity. So Michael, you joined us on the screen. Thank you so much for being here. I know we had a conversation earlier this week and it was just an uplifting point of my day. So I'm really hoping we can share that with everyone today and not just keep it all to ourselves. So I think we have a few questions. I'm gonna ask them of you and you can take your time to answer them. So awesome. Michael, let's start with a bit of background. I think that's important. Could you tell us about your career and your current business? I also hear you were an AC alumnus, so maybe you want to touch on that, if at all.
Yeah, so I'll start off with compliment here. You guys are doing a great job with this conference. I've done lots of these this year and doing a great job. But for me, it's always a little bit kind of funny talking about myself, but I had started off my career coming out of Algonquin and worked in the defense industry. I was more on the mechanical side of things, and throughout my time, I had started a couple of businesses, and while I was doing prototyping and drawings at night, and started doing delivery of prototypes and drawings during the day, and I had was working quite a bit, and so I found an opportunity at the Canadian Space Agency. So this was prior to Chris Hadfield kind of doing his musical interlude there, and so I really didn't even know that we had a David Florida lab, which is where I worked in Ottawa, and so I was privileged to start there, and working within the space industry and helping our commercialized clients develop their space components. I was inspired almost every day and really enjoyed it, but I grew quite frustrated with inability to help them in the way that I knew that they needed. And so that's when I spoke to my wife and made sure everything was good, because we decided to start this business. And so I started SSOC in 2018 and haven't looked back. So
yeah, that's actually my question number 2. So that's perfect. You led right into question number 2, which is, you know, really, was it that sort of idea that you wanted to make progress sort of happen faster? It seemed to be that is what you were expressing to me before, is that, you know, starting your business was the ability to move quicker for businesses so that they could remain afloat, because, you know, you can't wait 2 years for a business to operate, right?
Exactly, yeah. So their current lead times were in around that, you know, 6 months to a year, and if they were beholden to government terms, sometimes it was longer than that, and so really not setting up their ecosystem for success. And I believed at the time, and obviously I do now, which is I can help. So if I was always told, you know, if you know that you can help and you can do something about a problem, and sort of what your presenters were touching on a bit earlier, getting away from that delusion of responsibility and kind of taking that on and moving the ball as far as you can. That's really what we're trying to do here, and that's, yeah.
Amazing. I'm fully agreeable with you. I work, part of what I do is leading the makerspace, and we are all about that. How can we get this done like in a day? Is it possible? We do it in a few hours. Usually, you know, you're thinking a week, a month, whatever, but I love that idea of like pushing the envelope, trying to get things moving, because you learn from that. It's a learning opportunity the more you do. So I think my next question is a good one leading off of that, which is thinking ahead. It sort of led you back to Algonquin, right? So you're partnering sort of with Algonquin on this. And how did that come about? A little bit of a backstory on what you want to do there, or sorry, just about how it came about.
Yeah. So so I'll give you a tad bit about what SSOC does. So we actually provide simulated space environments. And so we have our phase 1 completed, which means we did our own in-house design build of our TVAC facility, which means everything from the clean room to the liquid nitrogen systems, all that stuff. And that being said, once we got it up and running and we had clients come in and started executing for phase 2 and 3, where some scaling happens, it was apparent even when I was at CSA, and more so now, where I get approached for you know, do I know anyone that can do this type of work? And the answer is no. And so typically there's an aerospace stream in the universities, but nothing in terms of the college level, the technologist level. And so that's really where the workforce is going to need some expansion. And it's a bit of a chicken and egg thing, where you're not going to have the the business threshold without the workforce, and you're not going to have the workforce without the business. So again, just moving the ball and try and say, okay, this is what we need, and if you want to compete at the international level, you're going to need a certain technical workforce available. So that's really what we're doing. And our first project with Algonquin's actually kind of a setup program, a setup project, so to get those systems in place. And
that's wonderful. Yeah, I think at Algonquin, I can speak to it myself. I'm alumni from the cabinet making program, and I know that's not as technical maybe as that, but it's definitely about getting your hands into the technology, getting the knowledge to be able to do and operate the machinery and do all of those things and have those hands-on skills. It's really important, that experiential learning piece. So I'm really glad you're here to be able to move that forward. That's so exciting that we could be part of a space program. It's just ecstatic to hear that. So that is very, very interesting. I have one last question, I think, for you here, because we're running out of time. And I think there's a number of students here on as members, participants, and as well as panelists. And I think if you could, they're at the beginning of their journey, let's say, maybe not at the beginning, but some of them might be, and you were in that position, 10 years ago, maybe less than that. What would you want them to know, or what do you wish you knew back then that would have helped you along your journey? So leave them with a little bit of wisdom if you could.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is looking back, because after I was thinking about it, have a little bit of faith in yourself, and what that means is keep learning. You're going to be your own biggest investment, and so learn until you figure out what you want to do, or more importantly, see what you need to do, and then keep learning to get better at it, and that persistence. So having a belief or faith in yourself and the outcome, and persisting with learning is the way forward. That's the way. So that's where I've seen the most success, and every time that I've fallen down, it's because I got away from those principles. So that's the best you can do.
Awesome. That is honestly fantastic advice. I 100% believe it. I get in my own way all the time, and I wish I could live your advice every day, but it's harder than it sounds, right? So just keep trying and you'll get there, I think.
Yeah, there's a reason why it came to mind. That's what I have to tell myself too. So it's, yeah.
Awesome. Well, continually learning. That's what we do here. We call ourselves learners at Algonquin. Every single one of us, whether we're a prof or whether we are a staff, administration, any of it. So I'm glad you're here with us and you're learning along with us. So thank you very, very much, Michael. I really, really appreciate you taking the time, spending the time, and I can't wait to see what comes about of our partnership that we're creating with David Thibodeau.
You too. So I appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thanks.
So everyone, we are here. The judges have been deliberating while we heard from Michael. It's exciting. Stephen has been helping them, and I am, just really, really excited to sort of hand it off. And we know, I think now, who are the winners. But before we do any of that, we have a special guest with us. And I would like to ask if Christina could come on the screen, because she's going to introduce our special guest, who will then introduce the winners.
Okay. I'm just following directions here. Zoom is telling me that to do a number of things, which it's fine by me. Thank you so much. Okay. So, another message. This is, I'm just having a lot of fun with the chat and sending messages here and there to everyone. It's amazing. It's so wonderful. And Michael, it's such a privilege to have you back to Algonquin College. And we can't wait truly to that partnership and collaboration that we know it's going to create a lot of opportunities, interdisciplinary opportunities, as we have discussed, and for our students in the future. So it's amazing to see, and thank you for agreeing to give inspiration to these students that one day will be back at One Reaction and speak about this very day. So and with that, I want to bring to the day our Senior Vice President Academic, Dr. Chris Jensen. I really would like him to help us celebrate the 5 finalists and to announce finalists and announce the winners for today. So Chris, over to you.
Thank you, Christina. Apparently I'm a special guest. They didn't tell me that, but my day job is the Senior Vice President Academic here at Algonquin College, and I'm really delighted you are all here joining us today for our first ever virtual reaction. Reaction is an important event at Algonquin College. It brings our community together around new ideas, technologies, collaborations. However, as we all know, the recent limitations on in-person gatherings meant we needed to change our methods for many things, including the delivery while maintaining the core experience of reaction. Today's event and the inaugural virtual showcase are a testament to the ability of our learners to pivot, problem solve, rise to the occasion, and succeed. Beyond the event's new format, the projects themselves are a true testament to our hardworking, dedicated students, faculty, and staff. Individuals who rise to the challenge of real-world problems by engaging their skills, ingenuity, and creativity in the name of progress. From robots to websites, it really is truly incredible what can be achieved when industry and Algonquin College talent work together. I also take a great deal of pride in one of the common themes of this year's reaction projects, helping businesses and charities adapt and respond to COVID-19. Algonquin College strongly believes in supporting the community, and this is exemplified in the innovative work being done to curb the local economic impact of this pandemic. Of course, none of this would be possible without the continued support of our industry partners, as well as funding agencies such as the National Sciences Engineering Research Council, the Ontario Centres of Excellence, the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council, and MyTex. Thank you all. So thank you to everyone who has dedicated these past months to overcoming challenges, bringing new ideas to fruition, and creating useful products and services through hard work and dedication. And so finally, we're off to announcing the winners of today's reaction. Congratulations to all of the project teams. The judges really did have their work cut out for them, trying to choose from amongst the choose 5 projects from amongst the 72 stellar submissions. Really, congratulations to everybody. Truly amazing, inspiring work. And really makes me miss my days of being able to conduct research. It's at the heart of who I am and many years of my experience. Finalists, you should really be all very proud of your project work and your presentations. That said, without further ado, now the 3 winners. The 3rd place goes to
Accelerating COVID-19 knowledge synthesis with machine learning.
Yay, congratulations. 2nd place goes to
Victim services providers and vicarious resilience.
Congratulations. And last, but absolutely first place goes to
Engaging youth, bringing wheelchair basketball to elementary schools.
Congratulations to all of the winners. Congratulations to all of the finalists and all of the projects. Amazing, fabulous work. Your dedication, persistence, tenacity to be working through these projects in very trying times is commendable. And again, thanks to all of our industry partners. Thanks to all of our funders for helping to make all of this work possible. These work integrated learning experiences are a critical part to everybody's education and in developing the future workforce that will drive the economy forward. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, Chris. That was wonderful. Thanks for the address. And you are absolutely a special guest. I don't know why you would have thought anything else. You're an amazing guest to have, and thank you for taking some time to join us and see all of the projects. So on that note of seeing all the projects, we have come to, and we're even a little bit ahead of schedule, which is beyond me. I thought this was a jam-packed day that we'd be scrambling to get to. So I'm very excited that we have a little bit of extra time for ourselves. But what I want to do is there has been a link dropped a few times in the chat. So people may have been checking out the showcase and looking at what it is that it looks like. But we have basically virtual posters. There are the ability to see every project. There's photos. There's all kinds of awesome things there. And you'll get a lot of information. And the really, really important part for anyone who is industry or just if you're curious about the project, there is a button that says contact. And you can contact the individual teams, which is exciting because that is one of the main elements of Reaction from before, was being able to talk to the teams directly, ask them questions, maybe hire them if you want to, those kinds of things. Find out what skills they have, find out, assess what skills you might need in your projects or what you want to learn more about, and reach out and have a conversation, book a Zoom coffee with them, do something like that. So I do encourage everyone to do that. And I think at the time, I would like to sort of just say that I will be here. I'm going to browse through with maybe some of my colleagues through the virtual showcase. I know we have it just dropped in the chat by Ryan. So feel free to click on that link and jump yourselves into the virtual Reaction Showcase. I also just wanted to say that, and I think I mentioned at the beginning, but the marketing team was from Algonquin College, Stuart Yemen, Alana McDonald were super, super helpful in the creation of that. So all that work in the background was just really done on their end, creating the process and the look of the form. So I do want to commend them for their efforts because it was a lot of us to ask of them to be able to create that. And we're excited because to have such a record of all of the projects moving forward, I can't wait until, 5 years from now, we have thousands and thousands of Algonquin College projects on display for everyone to see and everyone to contact. So if I just welcome you all to go and check it out. I hope you all are doing it right now and not just looking at my, face that hasn't had a haircut in maybe a couple extra days. And yeah, I would like to just sit here. Oh, Christina would actually like to say a few words. So I'm going to welcome here to just close us off and launch us into the virtual showcase. It has been a pleasure speaking with all of you. I've had such a great time and really, really thank you, everyone. So Christina, over to you.
Thank you, Matt. I actually just wanted to say a big thank you to you and your team for all of the work you have put into this. And Erica and Stephen and Ryan and the ARI staff who have really the way to pivot to hold this event is amazing. So I am very, very proud of all of you. I have put my thanks to everybody that I can think of, but I also know that I am forgetting some. So please know that you are appreciated, that you make this work possible. Our professors, I cannot stress enough how important you are to the work we do. Our students, just amazing. And by the way, industry partners and anyone that is here, community, they are up for hire. So don't miss out on these opportunities. It's really good. So I will just close by wishing you all a very, very safe and healthy holiday season. We will be wishing for the time where we can all be back together in person. But in the meantime, please know that we're always thinking about you. And at Algonquin College, we're always here available for you and for the exciting things that we can work on together. So thanks for being here today, Matthew, my amazing ARI team, my amazing Algonquin College colleagues, the events group, from convocations to every other need. You guys rock. Thank you again. Go visit the poster sessions.
Thank you so much, everyone. So at that moment, Christina, thank you. Of course, we had to have reaction. I don't want my job to not include reaction, so it had to happen. So we made it happen. So I'm really, really glad you gave us the opportunity, and that Algonquin had the resources to help us do it. So
I'm telling you, the names are popping in, and the judges, guys, thank you so much for volunteering time. The questions are amazing, and it is so amazing to see the students up to the challenges. Thank you for coming every year to support us with this.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone. I'm going to hang out here. I'm going to start browsing through the virtual showcase. You're happy to hang out with me, make comments in the chat if you'd like to. But at that moment, I would, you're all off the hook. You've joined us for reaction, and that was a wonderful time. So
tell me how to go there.
and yes, absolutely go to the reaction showcase, grab a coffee, and we will see you soon.